Being an actress is amazing. But to answer to Badimo Baka is the best feeling in the world. Ngithokozisa i-Constitution yam for having my back. I'm Latoya Makene, and I'm backed by my right to freedom of belief. Makhosi.
Them away. So listen carefully to these questions. Write them down. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to get a pen if you need it. Do you feel empowered and backed by the Constitution? If so, briefly share your story. Question number 2. Are you a young social activist? What cause are you standing up for to change the lives of others? Don't forget, in order to enter this competition, you need to use the hashtag inspired by my Constitution. Remember to drop your answers on the comments below here, and you can be part of our lucky draw. Don't forget to use the hashtag inspired by my Constitution. Join the conversation and pose your questions to our fantastic panelists. Part of the program today will be performances by Classic Madala, Zakwe, and the amazing Busiswa. And I will facilitate Samo. And you can follow these conversations on Facebook with @Official Brand South Africa, @Activate Change Drivers. That's Official Brand South Africa, @Activate Change Drivers. Also, don't forget to use the hashtag inspired by my Constitution. So poetry is one way of expressing ourselves, and I'm sure we have a lot of poets with us today. So we'd like to welcome Classic Madala to give us a poetic performance.
all in a family, her friends, her fellows and her fans. She's based basically in being beautiful by bringing the best thing around every human being she knows. Once again, she is rooted like a tree. She is down to earth. Even though she does miraculous things, she doesn't forget to stay grounded. She's one of a kind. What makes her that is that she was born with great sincerity. Her sincerity keeps her calm and kind as the kind of a woman convinced by the truth and nothing but the truth. Even though she can be barefooted, she does not go around looking where she can fit her feet. I mean, she's mentally fit enough to understand that she was created to fit in greater things. She is the validation of the word of God that became flesh and resided in a fully embodied body. She is that fresh, sanctified by the word, purified by it. She is a woman, but not just a woman of God.
And she fell in love with inkunzi yomswelo ku-classic Madala, who told her, my name is Avela.
Yo, akenimjongeni. Unxiba njengesikhothane and he walks like a tycoon. Marakana ndibuku. Kokuhamba kunatsheda. Of course, life iyamtesta. Uyaphanga, uyapressa. Ubomi buyamstressa. A depression, a state of mind. Don't visualize that you are better tomorrow.
A mental and emotional disorder.
Hakuna order. Engqondo iyascosta. Paradigm shift. Ngabathi intloko ayinangqondo. Check.
No fear,
No failure.
no opinions,
No options.
no reasons,
No excuses.
no judgment.
No justice. Yo, abanangqondo bakuyayiqonda. You want to conquer the world with just a dream, Martin Luther King. I mean, you would run the world like the Madivas and dollars, euros and pounds, always on point like guns, making people buy me and please,
What law are we governed with? If our black brothers' bodies are being buried still, even this day, murdered by white police. Men, don't tell me about a law constituted for my freedom if everything black is treated like sin or unworthy to breathe. Look, I'm a young black woman and I don't know how safe it is saying that in a supposedly democratic country, but what I know is that I've seen that the book of law is just an act, of facade, an act that only entertains the aristocrats because their money speaks louder and the black child remains impoverished. So don't ask me about the benefits of these laws. I know nothing about them. I know the struggles.
And allow me to tell you about the struggle.
but you might not dislike what I will recite.
But I'm more like Steve Biko.
I write what I like. Consider me useless or despicable, but I strive to be among the best, be counted among the rest like Bantu Steve Biko, Mahatma Gandhi,
Martin Luther King.
because I can see the promised land. Is our constitution waiting for us?
Are we really going to see the promised land?
Amandla,
Ngawethu,
kodwa umhlaba kusiwona
wethu, ngide
bafethu, kule sizwe sethu.
kazi nginotshaka kuphi na? Because I want to succeed.
Because I was born to be a seed, which blooms seasonally. Originally, I am a breed, with the thorns I bleed, with the greed and desire that infant mortality inside me does not succeed. My constitution does not work for me.
See, I know because I come from that place where they remove that fertile soil.
That when my seed is planted, it does not succeed. Indeed, I am in need of a constitutional wind that speaks for the people. They gave me a paper
And a pen.
and they said it's my voice. Indeed, I have a choice, but I don't have a voice.
Ngoba namhlanje, I come from a place where abantwana they go to school just to chill the toilet.
Again, drug addiction, Pella, is free education in Zanzi, half and past Namasimba Jaji. I shoot straight to the point. I pick up the gun and
Upon the
hama, hama, bula, kubula, inondo, ilejengo, bula, fikile bahula, bafikile bahula, sa bula.
manje siyakhala.
Izinyembezi ezinjengemvula, sula amadala wakudala wena dala madala njengeganda ganda manje sishaya isikhanda siyakhanda ngezandla ukhathala kuzipha amandla
As to fall
3, 4 times. Wow. I'm going to ask everybody in the studio to please give a round of applause for that amazing, amazing performance that we just listened to from Classic Madala. I always find listening to people and what they say is always so intriguing to me, but I always find it even more so when it's the youth. So thank you so much, because your voice is definitely needed in the society we are in today. But obviously none of this, and then these discussions could never happen if we didn't have stakeholders. So our stakeholders form an integral part of the collaborative efforts. And this is evident in the partnership between Brand South Africa and Activate Change Drivers. So please welcome Mzwandile, I'm going to get your name right. Mzimanga from Activate Change Drivers and Lerato Lehodi from Brand South Africa. Thank you very much for being with us today. So I'm going to hand over to you. And please tell us a little bit about purpose and what Activate Change Drivers' purpose is, and also what is the purpose of today?
Okay, thank you, Farah. So Activate Change Drivers is a network of young people who are driving change in their own communities. So these are everyday heroes. So if we recall, in 1976, young people went out and fought in the struggle. So activators have continued with that journey. So these are young people when a lot of injustice is happening in the world and people are saying, Senzenina. These are young people who are saying, Senzanina. So what are we doing? So us as a program, as Activate Change Drivers, we find and equip young people with the skills to run their own initiatives. And we connect them to each other. We connect them to resources. And then what we do is try and share their stories. These are young people, in spite of difficulties that are faced by young people, whether it's HIV, gender-based violence, exclusion in the economy, and the huge attrition rates when you're looking at education in our country. So we work with these young people and empower them to drive change in their own communities. So we believe that young people coming together, they're like ripples of change. And then by them coming together, we as a country can form a wave of change that changes our current state. So we are working with these young people and training them through a program that we have, where we equip them with a skill set, which involves a innovation toolkit. We work with young people and profile them, ensure that their voices are heard, more so their uncensored voices, so that we provoke the right conversations, not that young people continue saying slogans, but we are there on the ground and changing the world. Then what we do is for young people to sort of know their influence. How can they affect their influence on issues around politics? So what we believe in is that you might not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you. As such, today, we are here with Brand South Africa to look at the role that the Constitution has played in our lives. We have a Constitution that guarantees specific rights in the Bill of Rights, that ensures that we are able to thrive as young people. However, there are still struggles that are there. So us as a program, we find young people, connect them to key stakeholders, connect them to resources and opportunities. So our network is quite a diverse network. It's a network of 4,000 plus young people across the country, coming from different communities, from villages to peri-urban areas, which are townships, to the suburbs. We have unemployed young people, we have young people who are employed, have young people who are running their own initiatives. So we bring them together to say, regardless of your religious belief, regardless of your sexual orientation, let us come together and build the kind of South Africa that we want.
Thank you so
So
much. It's been, I could sit here and listen to you all day. I love love hearing programs that the youth are involved in, because we always hear, oh, the youth are so lazy, youth don't know. But they do. The youth want to get involved. They want to know what's there. They want to be part of the change. And thank you so much. That's amazing that you are enabling more than 4,000 people right now to activate change. So Lerato, we're going to move on to you. And I'm just going to ask you to speak to us a little bit more about constitutional awareness for South African youth. I think a lot of the youth now may not be aware of what the Constitution means for them as an individual, as a young person. So speak to us a little bit about that and how Brand South Africa gets involved in making sure the youth understand what their rights are.
I think firstly I need to thank Activate Change Drivers for coming to the party with us on this program. We've worked with them before on a constitutional awareness program, and it's such a natural fit for Brand South Africa with the constituents that they've got, you know, the young people that they work with, particularly in this program today. You know, our constitutional awareness program is not just a nice to have. It's a very important discussion that we need to drive, especially with the young people in this Youth Month, because it's young people that have contributed to the change that the country has seen today.
Yes.
And it's because they have been change drivers in their own right from historic times. Why not today we come together, we talk about the benefits that we have realized from the struggles of the past, you know, and we wanted to bring this program here to say, as young people, we need to know who you are. Where are you in your spaces? How has this constitution manifested in your own lives? Because as Brand South Africa, collaborations like these are important. As an entity that is entrusted with managing the reputation of the nation brand, we do our work in very simple ways, in two simple ways.
Yeah.
We work with and through our stakeholders to promote or position the country positively for investment, and through programs inwardly like this, where we promote social cohesion, we promote pride and patriotism, instill hope in our communities, in our young people that might otherwise feel like these democracies that we're speaking about, this democracy, the constitution, does nothing for me. So this is why we want to ignite that fire in young people to have these discussions moving forward. Because after all, the very identity of our country is enshrined in the very core of the Constitution. So this is where we need to unpack it, to say, what are you realizing from it? How are you then taking that to build your own lives? How are you then taking that to fight the struggles of now that young people are facing? We're going through a very serious pandemic right now that has forced us to communicate and do things that are completely out of our comfort zone. And it has impacted the young people who are already facing challenges, even before this pandemic came to the fore. So we're giving them a platform to voice their challenges, to voice their triumphs, to inspire others as well. And what more than to bring a group such as Activate, an organization such as Activate Change Drivers that is already working with these change drivers, to even entrench this message to others that might not have had a reach or that have not heard about this program that we're bringing to the fore today. So as Brand South Africa, we're very excited to bring this program, especially at a time like this, when we are out of our comfort zone and we are learning how to do this right. You know, there may be glitches here and there, but we're learning and we're committed to pushing forward the voices of young people. And I want to encourage young people that are watching right now, and thank you for taking the time to log in, you know, and be with us today. I want to encourage you to take part, engage in the questions that you've been asked to answer. Tell us what you're doing in your active space. You know, engage with the people that we'll be bringing here to talk to you and ask the questions that are relevant, because this is your platform. And it will allow us as Brand South Africa, like I said, to get insight on who you are and how you want to drive our country, which is really what is important about this program today. So do take part, do enjoy it. Do forgive us for the glitches, they will be there. We're really learning, you know, but do enjoy it. It's your program, and make the best out of it, you know.
Can I just ask you, I know we've got a tight schedule today, but I just want to ask you, what have you learned from working with change drivers? What do you think, what is the one thing, I won't say, you know, pick 10 different things, pick one thing that really stands out for you of what the youth want to change now, right now in this time?
I'm seeing the youth wanting to devise methods to change how they are, their outcomes in terms of economic participation. I think that has been a great thing. The youth have realized that they now have freedoms to express themselves, freedoms to engage on such matters. And I see them wanting to come together and collaborate and devise solutions that will make their well-being better and to drive the country with and control the narrative, their own narrative at this point. So I think that is the one thing that has driven me to even work more with the youth, that tenacity that they bring to the party to say, we want to be contributors to the current movement and direction that the country is going towards.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. today. I'm sure there's many people that have so many questions, and this is definitely the platform for it. So what I'm going to tell you is underneath the comments, please leave your comments and questions here. We really, really want to see what you have to say about today. So don't forget, we still have a competition going as well. Well, definitely leave your answers because you can win some amazing prizes. So another reminder to send your answers in line to win amazing, amazing prizes. There's a great African proverb that says, where you sit when you are old shows where you stood in your youth. It hit me. It really, that line when I read it and I was given this, it really hit me. What an amazing way to say your youth is your foundation for your old age, to make sure that you leave your legacy. So today we have Zakwe live, streaming in from KZN. He's a Kasi rapper that's made a huge mark in the South African hip-hop industry with his bold voice and heavy punchlines of his township stories. He's a poetic lyricist, and from the industry I even work in, I've heard Zakwe, and he's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to see him perform live. I've never seen him perform. He's a poetic lyricist, a humanitarian, and a very reserved being, which qualifies him as being extremely humble. And I've heard that this is absolutely true. So we're very excited. Please, can we get Zakwe on? And let's have a little dance. Let's feel a little bit lively. Let's feel like, let's just for a few moments forget that we're in the middle of a global pandemic and just enjoy some music.
In a country where diversity is a blueprint, where the people are guided by the spirit of Ubuntu and humanity is at the core of our ethos, our spirit of determination unleashes our true potential. We rise above every situation and limitation, for we are resilient. We are givers who open our hearts when the need arises, that seeks to unite its people towards encouraging everyone to play their part. Oh, what a beautiful nation we are. We are South Africa.
Oh yeah, he's not here.
In a country where diversity is a blueprint, where the people are guided by the spirit of Ubuntu and humanity is at the core of our ethos, our spirit of determination unleashes our true potential. We rise above every situation and limitation, for we are resilient. We are givers who open our hearts when the need arises, that seeks to unite its people towards encouraging everyone to play their part. Oh, what a beautiful nation we are. We are South Africa.
Hi, Zakwe, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay, he can hear me. I can't hear him right now. You can hear me, but we can't hear you. Can you bear with us 1 second? Apologies to the audience. We're dealing with some technical glitches and we'll get this sorted ASAP. So I'm just, even though I can't hear you, I want you to hear me. I just want you to know that I'm very excited to hear from you because I've listened to your music, I've seen your music videos, but I've never actually seen you perform live. So, and I've
Yeah.
heard so many things about you. I can hear you now. So I'm really excited to actually hear you, and I hope that, once COVID-19 decides to leave us, I can actually hear
I got you. Well,
you. Sorry, say that again?
you'd like for me to perform it? That's what-
Yes, please. We're going to go ahead, so please go ahead.
I see, no problem.
Thank
Ready
you.
when you are.
We're good. You can go ahead.
I see. All right. This song actually features Stoggy T, and it features J. Claude, Cape Town, all the way from. So we actually united to. The song is titled Roots, and it speaks about young people. It speaks about hip hop. It speaks about us. You know what I mean? So let me talk to the youth a bit. Alright, let's go on. To times when people change, but numbers don't. It's real. Overdose on the skill, the way come overdose. We made dough without flour, kasi its way of rose and puzzle together and the tap water. That's how our street flows. I've been down for the streets, see now it picks me up. Speak straight from the dome, see now they wanna fill me up. The time is up for you wiggers if you ain't down with us. I'm moving clockwise, among funny scooping, I'm clockwise. They recognize I'm a pops now with a gorgeous wife. I know my son is gonna shine a bit on my daughter's life. I bought cars from songs I wrote when I was walking by. Pray I never poop, I slip it now with an open eye. It's got us mealy, but we gotta do better in rap. Second, you every second, you take the first step. Ha, you for the Christmas, nigga, first on the first left. Now I'ma run things, my brothers, fast on the last left. I take a stand, Mangela Lezes oblivious. Strategic melebas food the teen, we got that syllabus. We bypass those who are biased, must release, and you don't bias, bring the pliers. Negative mind is easy to minus. Division of labor must now multiply. You see, they had a lot of problems and they menacing us. They must do the math from the previous lines. Selling gold was contagious. Now I got that Midas touch. That's right. We survived when they told us we never winning in this. Patience on my time frame till I could picture this. Huh? Y'all still drink ciders and PM like evenings with that much flow. I could beat the odds when I even things and be the voice of the elected. I can floss in the industry for my thoughts on the jiggy beat. Either oh, I'm a lyricist. I'm a force, I'm a genius. I was born with this eagerness. Get applause in the millions. Still I'm gone to be feeling it. Woo! But I'ma get more honey. Oh yeah. Everybody at home right here. Let's get along to this song. It goes like this. All black coat can't see nobody. Better ask somebody. Woo! Hey, hey, and it goes. All black cook can't see nobody. Better ask somebody. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zagwe. Just wanted to do a little something for you.
Thank you.
Sorted.
It's a different experience, huh?
Very, very. But I'm very excited, because in these times, this is what we truly enjoy, like to speak to the people as much as we can. So these mediums actually assist us a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we don't really know when we're going to be able to go and be in a concert room again and be able to go out and listen to live music. So we really appreciate that artists such as yourself are finding new ways for us to listen to music, new concepts in terms of how music is being performed. And I know that's really hard because you're so used to being up on the stage and grabbing a mic and running out and jumping into the crowd and today you're sitting in a car and you're rapping for us. So I know that's a totally new experience for you.
Yeah, it's definitely totally different. But for me, it means so much, because after this, you actually go and check the comments and you see that people are actually engaging. So it means a lot to us. The little that we have to communicate to the
Yeah.
people just means so much to me. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, it's a learning experience for everybody. Everybody's And it's not the easiest thing to do when you've only done it a couple of times and it's a new normal for us to get used to. So I'm appreciating the fact that we've been able to connect. I'm assuming you're in Durban, right? You're in KZN?
Yes.
Yeah, so for me, you're in KZN, we're in Joburg, Muzahmo's in New York, I think, or LA, sorry, LA, my apologies. So to have our next segment is so exciting. And it just shows, sometimes I think, why didn't we do it together?
You know,
So we're going to go into our panel discussion now, and we're going to discuss the benefits of democracy for the South African youth and the significance of youth activism, because I know, especially in your lyrics, you are very hard in this kind of thing. People are very aware of that with you, and you never shy away from listening to what's really going on around us in terms of not just activism, but just, the country or in the suburbs, or just youth, or people just genuinely, and how people are dealing with life and how you're dealing with life, which is always great because we have a lot of musicians that don't necessarily give us the truth, and you give us the truth. I appreciate that. So today we're going to have a discussion, and we're going to, at this point, welcome Muzama and she is a businesswoman, she's a human rights activist. Like, we could only put a few things in there because she's got such a huge list of qualifications to be here, as much as you, Zakwe. And of course, we're going to go straight into it. So, Nomzamo, do we have you on the line? Hey, beautiful. Can you hear us? Hello, how are you, gorgeous? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a huge favor. I'm gonna ask you to move your camera down so we can see your face fully, because I can just see your gorgeous eyes right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a huge favor. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to move your camera down so we can see your face fully, because I can just see your gorgeous eyes right now. So, alright. So, can you see me now? Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. That's better, girl. I can see you. Okay, so I'm just give us a sound in from our side as well. But tell me, what time is it there?
Hello? Got it, no problem. By the way, thank you to everyone who's been so patient this morning.
It's been a bit of a struggle, but we're doing good.
This morning.
Okay, so we're going to bring Zakwe in as well, and I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. Zakwe, please bear with us because Nomzamo's feed is a little delayed.
Can't see you well.
Okay, Nomzamo, can you hear me? Zakwe, can you hear me? Please bear with us, guys. We have a few technical issues this morning, but I promise you we're going to get there.
Perfect. I can hear you, Farah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to start with you then first. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, so let's just get into it. What does constitutionalism mean to you? Why must young people discuss things such as the Constitution and democracy, and why is it important?
Is that question for Zagwe or for me?
For you, Namzamo.
Ah, got it. First of all, I think it's important that we hold the Constitution accountable, and we hold those who, have been voted and been put into different administrations for the country. I think one of my favorite quotes is that we may have inherited a broken system, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the power to change it. I think right now everybody needs to use what we only have, which is our own agency. For as long as we keep quiet, we continue to inherit the injustices of our forefathers. We continue to inherit everything else that we were born into, and I live by the quote that, I want to leave my generation better than I found it. So how do I leave my generation better than I found it? And that's through using my own personal experiences in life. I was born Guamash, it's not Nawin, so anybody from, hey, shout out. I was born Guamash, it's not Nawin. And so for me, growing up and being surrounded by those injustices, having to take a bus to school, get dropped off, and then still walk to the school that I was attending. And of course, that school being a government school and not having, premium quality education, which is one of the promises in our Constitution. For me, growing up and experiencing those injustices made me and implored me to leave my generation better than I found it, because I found it in this certain state. And so how do I do that? I do that by activism. I do that by being a change agent. And I implore every young person, we use social media for in my personal opinion, we don't use social media for the good. We use social media to pass time, and everybody wants to, have a fat laugh on social media. But those are the spaces that we should be using. I mean, right now we're using social media to connect. You're back home in SA, I'm here in LA. We're able to have a conversation. So how do we continue to do that? And even so, when we speak about the injustice, when we speak about the problems and the shortcomings, what are the solutions, right? We're the young people. We know as the youth of South Africa what it is that we want to see, okay? And so when we say that this is what's wrong, okay, great. Then what is the solution?
Do you find that we're becoming a lot more problem-driven rather than solution-driven, especially in South Africa? Or do you find that we just don't have the resources right now? So we're identifying the problems, but because the resources aren't yet there, we're not finding the solutions to the problems. Do you think that's what it is right now?
I mean, I think the world at large is going through its own socio inequity, and dismantling of so many of the systems that we, came into. But I do feel like, as much as they may seem like we don't have the resources is our minds. Africa's greatest resources is not just its natural resources; it's people. We are able to come up with the solutions. But again, it is the different walls that we then find ourselves in, because government can easily say, but these grants are available to the young people of South Africa. These grants are, you can access this. But yes, fantastic. You tell me what it looks like across the river, but who's going to build the bridge? And so for me, it's about imploring the government, the different administrations, again, build those bridges for young people. It's one thing to tell people that, the solutions are there, right? Fantastic. And it's one thing for us to come up with the solutions, but we still need the bridges. And how we break down those bridges is that you include us in the economy of the government. You include us beyond just, being part of different plenaries and seminars that you plan. Where are the young people that truly, are the change agents, who are the foot soldiers?
Definitely. I mean, we definitely, I know in Joburg, we have a Joburg a mini city council for the youth. We just need to see more of those platforms that are more vocal. They just need not be there, but they need to be more vocal. Completely understand. So I'm going to bring Zakwe in here. So Zakwe, I'd like to know from you, what benefits have you realized from the provisions of the Constitution or democracy? Have you, in your own space, what have you used to empower yourself, to build your life, to build your career? What do you feel that the Constitution has provided for you in order to do that?
Yeah. As for me, there's
wait. I'm going to stop you there because I need you to greet Nomzamo. You didn't say hi. You need to say hi to the ladies.
Okay, I'm so sorry. How you doing, Kaya?
My apologies. Please carry on.
Yeah, man. So yeah. By the way, we born from the same. We all come from Guamasha. So shout out to Numzamo. Okay. So yeah, yeah. So for me, like honestly, I feel like we as the youth, some of us, precisely. Let me just say, most of us don't have the knowledge, the resources, or everything might be there, but for how it comes to us, sometimes it's very, very hard. Sometimes it's just the word of mouth. For example, things like these that actually we should have like 1 million people viewing it because it helps a lot. You know what I mean? But maybe to get to them, it's very hard. You know, for example. We were told that our government is giving us about 150 million for us as artists to actually assist us. You know what I mean? But for that to get to us, it's taking so long. You know what I mean? So I really feel like the info to assist young people is not given to them in a proper way. Probably I've been to so many shows that are very you get to a show where you perform. It's a free show, but it's not advertised because it's a free show. But it's so beneficial, you know what I mean? So the youth wants to know, but the information getting to them is so hard, you know what I mean? So I really feel like us as musicians too, and as actors, so many people, we really probably sometimes just focus on partying and doing whatnot, but instead of us to educate the youth, be held accountable of whatever that we say. We should be talking about issues, because Tina, we rappers, you know what I mean? So we are poets. We should be speaking to the people and speaking to the youth, inspiring in them. So we try as much as we can through our music, but I don't feel like so many people are doing that. It actually boils down to the youth now making the music. That music don't even speak to the people. It's just making noise and trying to make money, because us as fellow musicians too, we're not doing anything. So I really feel like Nati, we should be held accountable, because it's in we should be speaking to the youth and making them understand and pushing them as much as we can, because a lot of people did this for us. You know what I mean? That's why we're here.
Of course. I mean, do you feel like if there was more of a platform, then more of the youth would be able to have an understanding of also just what's going on and as the global pandemic now? Do you think a lot of it is to do with, in terms of building your career and your life around what the Constitution affords for you? Do you feel that not enough people may know that? Do you feel that information isn't filtered down to our communities in the correct way or in the language that is spoken in our communities?
Yeah, I strongly feel like that. Like, for example, the Constitution is there. It's there to assist young people. But the young people do not know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all boils down to us as artists. Us as artists, I know like 80% or 70%, no disrespect, but if you take them and put them in a position where you're supposed to educate the youth, it won't happen. But tell them to perform, then it happens, then it's fine. You know what I mean? So I really feel like they should educate us as artists so that we go out there and give the information. Not that they must have probably like let's say we're having this now and you call Zawe just to perform, you know what I mean? Whereas Zawe could have spoken to people in a different way and people would have listened, you know what I mean? So I really feel like we should be equipped as artists too, and then go out to the people and speak to the youth in the right manner and then perform. You know what I mean? So I really feel like the mediums that they have, they're not using it in a proper way. But the Constitution is there, but the people that are supposed to know the Constitution and let it work for them do not have the proper information, and it's not delivered to them properly.
Okay, I completely understand what you're saying. So I'm just going to go back to Nomzamo for a second. So Nomzamo, can you just explain to us what are the responsibilities that you feel that the youth have in terms of enjoying the said benefits that they have, but in adherence to regulations? So for instance, let's say COVID-19 being the case in point here. And do you feel like the responsibilities that are on the youth to make sure that they're safe and they're protected, do you feel that that's something that should lay on the youth? Or do you feel that that's something that the youth are not informed enough about in order to take that responsibility on?
But at the end of the day, you know, it's one thing to say, share responsibility and people and society or the community. I do think that, you know, for a very long time, we've heard the cry of
Nomzamo, can I just stop you there for a second? Your sound on your side is just crackling up a little bit. I'm not sure if it's the mic or if it's. Can you just sit a little bit forward for us so we can hear you? That's perfect. Okay. Thank you. Oh, better, much better, much better. Thank you so much. No, unfortunately, we're still not hearing you. I'm not sure what the issue is. Just give us a second. Can you say hello?
1, 2, 3.
There you go. We're hearing you better now. Okay, please, I'm so sorry to ask you to repeat that. Our audience didn't unfortunately hear what your answer was.
Of course.
Thank you.
So I was just saying that, of course, there's going to be the element of a shared responsibility for as long as we're all citizens and you know, sharing a society, sharing an ecosystem, sharing a community. But it's so difficult to be able to bear the responsibility to share any kind of responsibility when I feel like I haven't been equipped. And for me, it's about equipping young people, you know, equipping the youth of South Africa so that we can also be able to say, you know, there's the quality education, there's quality healthcare systems. I look around in my community and I feel like I am represented. I feel like I am seen by my country. And I think what Brand South Africa has done incredibly well today is that, you know, it's highlighting what the country's doing. It's highlighting what are the different systems and the different avenues that young people can be able to access. And it's incredibly important that we continue these kinds of conversations so that information is spread out there. You look at things, you look at the pandemic that we're facing right now. I mean, we're facing many pandemics, as I'm sure everybody's seen the global conversation around Black Lives Matter, the global conversation around young Black people in the world at large. There's no way that a young Black person in South Africa can sit back and not feel represented in that kind of conversation. As long as, you know, is a huge topic, and it's almost at the top of that. So I think it's so important that we too on the ground see how other people, young people, and the world mobilizes for equality. And when we are able to mobilize for equality, we're able to bring about the ears and the eyes of those we feel, you know, are accountable to us. I don't know, I could be wrong.
No, I completely understand what you're saying. And obviously, it's like anything. Give somebody a voice and you'll finally hear what they're saying. So it's really about that. But I'm just going to bring Zakwe back in again because I really want to ask you this question, Zakwe. I'm really interested in your point of view on how you feel about this. So how do you feel young people can or should deal with the current challenges that they face right now, be it through the current pandemic or just generally economically, from academically? How do you feel that the current challenges that South African youth face right now can be tackled? And what should we do? What should the youth do?
Yeah. To be honest, it stings in a different way for everyone. You know what I mean? Someone might be affected in a certain way. So the moment that we start uniting the youth, we can do it via soccer. I grew up in a hood where soccer actually connects the whole, you know what I mean? It connects the whole city and whatnot. So once we start doing like what I said, that artist, probably someone like Zagwe, that run SA, make them play and then come through and speak to them. You know what I mean? That's Zagwe to say, not someone to speak about it, because maybe probably it won't sting as much as if Zagwe says it at first hand. You know what I mean? So I really feel like we should actually make in my page. I'll have like probably 500,000 followers. You know, if I speak it and act upon it, I really feel like the youth will come together, make them come together. It's possible for us to make people come to the show. So if we get people like Mozagwe, Abo Mzamo, and make the youth come together, listen to them, speak about it in our songs, I really feel like it's gonna work like wonders. You know, that it's gonna boil down to them as the youth writing poems about it, making music about it. You know what I mean? Because if they see me living a flesh life and speaking about it, they too to be Zawe one day, and they'll do the same thing. So I really feel like some of the music that we do too to influence them will make them do the type of music and speak their hearts. You really, so right now they have all the mediums. They have the phone, they have Facebook, they have whatever, but they're delivering the wrong message. They're not talking to our president. They're not talking to their leaders. You know what I mean? Because that's what probably we do too. You know what I mean? It all boils down. It all comes from us, and we need to educate them. Probably now, but they'll do the same thing. You know. So I really feel like the youth should come together, speak about these issues, and try as much as they can to actually make it heard to the government and everyone.
Thank you, Nomzamo and Zakwe. There you have it, basically. So we have some questions for both of you, and I'm gonna start with Nomzamo, but let's empower ourselves with knowledge and respect our constitution. I think that's what we also need to understand. What we know, we can respect as long as we understand and our questions are answered. It was put in place not only to protect us and not only to free us, but also to protect us from ourselves. So we have a few questions that have come through from the audience. So Nomzamo, I'm going to start with you. Zakwe, I'm going to start with you. My apologies. How are you putting a voice to the challenges faced by young people of South Africa? So how are you helping you specifically? How are you giving people a voice? Is it through your songs? Is it through your activism? What is it that you specifically are doing to make sure that the youth have a voice?
Yeah. What usually happens is that I do shows that are free for everyone, where at that open mic, you don't go to perform just because you know Zagwe. You know what I mean? So we come through, we try as much as we can listen. I've done an interview with record label executives speaking to the youth about the challenges that I've faced making music. You know what I mean? So what I've done right now is that I've conceptualized my album to actually be a benchmark of whatever is happening. Like right now, I'm making a mixtape for KZN as a whole, where young rappers that are known and other rappers that are unknown, producers, the artworks and whatever. I'm going to focus in what I know best and in making music and making sure that the talent of KZN and SA as a whole is seen. So I try as much as I can to make them, to push them in a direction where don't speak about this because you don't know it, but you know the challenges that you face about HIV, no challenges that you face about your hood. Speak about it so that this is how we're going to make this mixtape and send it to the people. So for now, that's what I'm really, I try. Yeah.
I love that. So Nomzamo, I have a question here for you. So you do great work at the UN, and how significant is it for you that the youth become activists? Now, we're keeping in mind that not everybody has what it takes to become an activist, because some people are very introverted, and activism sometimes takes a very extrovert personality, but I don't feel like you are extremely extrovert and you do it so well. So how can you teach us as the youth to become activists and make it work for us?
That's a tough one. But I think what I will say is this: I think the word activist can be a little bit daunting. So let's use the word change agent, right? So we are all agents of change. And I love using the anatomy of, being in an operating room. There's one who has to pass on the tools to the surgeon. You have the main guy, but there's so many other elements that allow the surgeon to do his job. So the surgeon becomes the government. Everybody around him is the agents, right, that assist the government or assist what gets put in place, those who are responsible for the biggest job of all, right? And so perhaps maybe if you don't have to be an activist, just be an agent of change. Look around in your community and say, okay, this is where I want to stand in the gap. I understand that government cannot reach every single corner, but I can be the little tool that can be able to assist in bridging that little gap. For me, for example, with the Lighthouse Foundation, starting my own foundation really was based on the work that I did as a young person. I mean, a lot of people don't even know this. I was Madam Speaker of Youth Parliament, KZN, okay? Little me has always, from the age of 15, has always been about, being a voice of change. And even if you're not going to be on the stage, even if you're not going to be center stage, what is it that you're doing in the small little things? Somebody is good at just admin, and I'm terrible at admin, but I know that I have great people who are awesome at admin around me. So really and truly look around you and what are the resources that you can be able to use with the people around you. I also wanted to say there's power in numbers. Collaboration beats competition. Yes. Hey, so much change comes out of collaboration, and if you are able to find private sector companies, go to private sector companies and say, we know that you want to tick the box on the CSI, and this is how we see that you can best utilize those funds. And so coming up with creative ways of doing that. With the Lighthouse Foundation, we've been able to fund students around the country, and I didn't want to use what the systems call the missing middle, which is I was part of the missing middle where I was told I can't get NSFAS because your parent, one of your parents is late, but your mom is so and so, so she's a teacher, so she can probably afford. But I'm part of the missing middle where my mom is a teacher, but she has 4 children. So the Lighthouse Foundation was for those people who have exceptional or even the smallest problems when it comes to graduating or carrying on with their funds. So really and truly be an agent of change. What is it that you want to see as a difference in the world? There's people like Nomzamo. I answer so many emails, Farah, on a daily.
I'm sure.
If I can't answer it on a daily, I'll spend like a Saturday and I'll go through emails of people asking either for funds or Nomzamo, can you point me in the right direction? So reach out to people. There's always help there.
I love the answer you just gave there in terms of you don't have to be an activist, but you can be an agent of change. And I think it really pulls into what we're trying to do with Brand South Africa today and activators of change. It's so imperative that you know that even if you are not an activist in the sense that you see what an activist or what you think an activist is, it's the small little changes that make the difference. So I have a question that I'd like for you, Zakwe, and you, Nomzamo, to answer me. But Nomzamo, you can go first, ladies first. And I really want to know from you guys, why do you feel that it is important for the youth to celebrate Youth Month? So, Nomzamo, that's to you first.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. Why is it important for the youth to celebrate Youth Day?
To celebrate Youth Month.
Oh, to celebrate Youth Month. Because here's the thing, for as much as we can be able to point out how far away from where we ideally want to see ourselves as the youth of South Africa, we also have to recognize just how far the youth have come. Because for me, it would be such an injustice, Farah, and I know you can be able to attest to this as well as Zakwe. There are so many young people that we can be able to look around us and say, you are a beneficiary of the Chris Honeys. You are the beneficiary of a Nelson Mandela dream. You know, for as long as we can be able to see young people and also to see, you know, even if they're not young, you know, they're in their 40s or 50s or whatever, for as long as you're in the bracket of youth, okay, and I see you running your company and I see you employ so many people, and that is what we all need to boast about, by the way. We're not boasting about how many cars we have or how many houses we have. We're not boasting about design. We are boasting about how many families we are feeding, how many lives we are impacting. When it's end of the month, when you press pay and clear, how many families are you impacting? Okay, so that is the outlook that we need to have right now. And so for me, for as long as I can be able to point out your Sylvester's Chauke, who runs DNA brand, a brand architect, your Farah Fortunes, who's running such an incredible PR company. You get what I mean? There's so many that I can be able to point and say, but for as long as, yes, the progress is slow, Oksalayo, the progress is. So we have to celebrate Youth Month for as long as there's progress. And also we use Youth Month to be able to say, these are the shortcomings and this is where we want change. This is where we want any change and new developments.
Definitely. And progress, 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 no matter how small, no matter how big, progress, progress. So Zakwe, same question to you. Why do you feel that it's important for you, the youth, to celebrate Youth Month?
Yeah. I really feel like I've been saying, if we can get people, not necessarily who were there, but who experienced 1976, how this actually month came about. You know, how we gave birth to this month. Before we even celebrate, we need to be told what happened. You know, make people understand. The museums are there in Soweto, in Joburg. You know what I mean? So let the young people go there, not just the ones that study history, but everyone should understand, so that when they celebrate, they know what exactly they are celebrating. Like today, a lot of things are handed over to us, like we're walking on a red carpet, but that red carpet is actually blood that was spilled 1976. So we need to understand that, so that when we celebrate and we grow out from being the youth, we actually tell the other guys, okay, that you guys are actually privileged. You know what I mean? So within this month, what else? What can you do to show to actually commemorate, understand, make other people understand? You know what I mean? So I really feel like before we celebrate, we need to know what are we celebrating. You know what I mean? So the youth of SA needs to be told exactly what happened. They understand and they be like, oh, I'm so privileged. So we actually should celebrate the month. It's very important to everyone.
I love that. I love your guys' answers. I love that you understand from your perspective what is needed for our youth to move forward. It's so important that we as individuals know this and understand how we can make a change. And I'm going to go back to what Nomzamo said, is be an agent of change, and exactly what Zakwe said is, be in there, be part of the communities, go to the free concerts, listen to what people have to say. So I just want to say thank you so much to you two for joining us today. Nomzamo and Zakwe, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely imperative in the fight to making sure that the youth voice is heard, and we so appreciate that. And just want to say thank you so much on behalf of myself, Brand South Africa, and Activators of Change. I just want to say thank you so much for bearing with us with the technical difficulties today. It's been amazing. People have gotten so much information from you, and like anything, progress, progress, progress. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to go on now, and we are going to announce our winners. So I'm going to announce 2 winners now. And later on, you guys will have to come back to Facebook, to the Brand South Africa page, to find out who the 3rd winner was. So the first winner is Andrew Mtumunya Munyai. The second winner is Lelo Mbata. So I need you guys to please DM Brand South Africa your details, and they will get back to you in regards to your prizes. The 3rd person will be announced later on today, but you'll have to come back later onto Facebook, and you'll have to come and see who else won. So it may be you. So